Oh, it's that day. It's that day that Justin Timberlake's been warning us about forever. And the memes
Hump
tell
day.
you yeah, it's gonna be hump. He just walks around going, I'm gonna hump you all day long. It's gonna be hump. Good morning, happy Wednesday, happy May, happy Bobby. Hello.
It's gonna be aborted.
Oh no. Imagine me saying that. You thought it was alive, babe. But it was hello. That could be a very sad song for somebody this morning, so I'm sorry. You were like, I got to get over this terrible abortion. I should have watched this comedy show. You're like, oh no, they're singing about the one thing I'm going through.
If you were trying to get over an abortion, why would you tune into one?
Because that to know that you're not the only one, you're not alone. It's kind of like when fatties go to like curves.
But they are all alone.
Yeah, yeah, they wouldn't have been if they they actually would have never been alone again if they didn't.
It's what the Liverpool song's really about. You'll never walk alone.
So how is your morning? So last night we had a fun POS. It's on the Patreon for people who want to check it out who didn't. It was a good time. Um, I watched the rest of the Knicks game, and your dreams came true, not mine. But it's okay. It just means it's a longer series now, and it was a great ending of the game. So
I called my folks like right as it went into overtime. I don't have cable right now. Get on the Patreon,
yeah, I'm
please.
streaming it on Max. It's on almost all the NBA playoffs are on HBO Max if you have that. I don't have cable either, but I've been really
I
watching most of
may.
that. Good morning, Kish.
But my dad talked me through it play by play, which was kind of fun.
Right.
I used to do that for him when he was on call and could call home, so it was kind of nice to flip the tables. I'll say my recounting of games to him involved less like, I think that player should drop out and go to nursing school.
I also believe Joel Embiid should go to nursing school.
Yeah, good point, Dad. He should give up on his dreams, everything he's worked for his whole life.
Yeah, I watched most of the end of that game, and then and it as a Knicks fan, we're used to that. Like that brought me all back to like Knicks days where I loved Patrick Ewing, but when it came to that clutch, he just could not hit that little shot. And when Brunson threw that pass that he thought the guy was cutting in, and he just gunned it out, I'm like, that's what we do. Like in those moments, we've just never had that. As much as when the fans are the greatest fans there is, and that place goes more nuts than any other place ever, the players buckle to that pressure every fucking time. There's only, if you think about NBA Madison Square Garden moments, there's only a couple that would the pop in a positive way. You know what I mean? Most of them are like Reggie Miller lights it up for 40 on you in 2
The
seconds.
Knicks choke
Like,
because they have no nuts.
yeah, Larry Johnson hitting that one crazy ass shot that time, but they didn't win anything from it. They just moved on in the playoff. It was a great shot, but like they don't really have much for that. But it was fun to watch that game. But that the Sixers, I don't think Sixers can win the whole thing just because it looks like Maxey now his legs. When he started limping too, I'm like, dude, the whole NBA this year for a league that's supposed to be all about protecting, and they're doing the load thing where they're not letting everyone play. Everyone is limping. Everyone is back, which I kind of like. I kind of like that these players aren't sitting. Like the Sixers,
Yeah.
like and, I mean, and even the Pacers last night too, and the Bucks are not knocked out yet without their two best players. They're playing better with Middleton, the guy they were supposed to trade. Everyone's like trade Middleton. That's how you get everybody. That's how you get Lillard. That's you, and he's the guy leading this team. Bobby Portis, the other guy they were gonna. Those are the two parts they were gonna trade, and they kept those two, and they're the reason why they can do anything. Pat Bev doing a good job last night, getting a little smacking around a little bit by some guys, but
Yeah.
but it was
He
to watch them play without their two biggest stars, the two of the biggest stars in the league, and still give Indiana a run for their money. It's like it was pretty fun to watch. So
it is fun NBA for sure. I like when they're all banged up and you get guys that shouldn't be playing are now in charge. Remember when Deladova was just diving at knees against Steph
yeah,
Curry? Because like this white dude from Australia who looked like you, Pat, with hair, was in
yeah.
the NBA somehow. Like, no offense, you're not the typical
No,
build,
no.
but
Well, he
I
was. I
think
mean, the
we're
guy was a good. He was a good college player, so for sure. But
yeah,
like
yeah,
still,
yeah.
but
Real cheap, real dirty, special place in hell for him. Anyway, I was a big Warriors fan when he hurt certain people. But no, I think we're one speech away from the coach of Miami tearing into the locker room and being like, "Jimmy, you're a candy ass." What do you want me to do? My knees hurt. Knees a long way from the heart, Butler. Get back out here.
Yeah, I don't think Miami's got any shot of doing anything. But good morning, Scott Fitzpatrick. How are you, sir? The no filter guy, squad thing, whatever.
And Kish. First one
I
in.
threw a kish. I threw a kish in drive by quickly while we were talking. I was like, oh yeah, the Sixers kish. It was like, so I was being sneaky on the side there. But yeah, so more basketball. I'm gonna take a day off, I think, from basketball. The Knicks aren't playing. I've been watching a lot of basketball. See, I was saying, like, I don't have cable either, but HBO Max, I found out during the March Madness. They're like, I was like, where can I watch this? Because I don't have cable. And it's like, oh, you can stream it on Max, but not all the games, but most of the games you could. And then I saw, like, oh, they're also gonna do the NBA, and they were doing the NBA during the season a little bit, but they don't do every game. They do anything that's on TNT or TBS. That will be on there. And then the same thing with all the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I mean, I'll never watch that, but like the other one, I can watch at least.
I have Sirius still.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid, Kish. The cable, yeah, it's crazy. Cable.
Kish's wife has a
Congratulations.
super box.
I was about to say congratulations on your Super Box.
I was sit on that one. I'm sorry I had to step on you, but I saw
No,
that
please do.
in the chat.
Please
Was just
do.
waiting.
Listen, listen. No man can be upset if two guys are fighting over her box.
Especially if it's a super box.
Dun, dun, dun. You were saying before that?
Not just I haven't had Sirius, so I would go for a walk and just listen to the games, which was like a good way to get exercise and to what's it called? Listen to the fucking sports.
Listen to the fucking sport. Oh, listen to the fucking sports. That was the original words of that song.
I actually,
Let's
yeah.
to the music.
I think every game I've been rooting for a team enough to listen on Sirius, they've lost. So maybe I should stop.
Yeah, I think that's with most things in life. We get older, we feel like anything we finally invest our time into is not worth it. When you're younger, you're like, oh, they'll be better next time. You're like, oh, there really isn't a next time. Like
You start relating to all those songs where it's like, I ain't as good as I once was. I got like one good shot left in me. Yeah, no, I get it.
oh, it really is like the when see, I don't know when you were younger, but when I was younger, that's when there was a big fad of talking about the 27 Club and all the famous people that died when they were 27, James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, all the fuckers. And then they threw, like, and then they throw other people that were kind of close to that, like Cobain and all that. They're like, everybody's in that mix, whatever. And you're like, yeah, so young. And then you're like, when you're older, like I am almost 50 now, you're like, that would have been perfect. That would have been ideal. Yeah, I would have missed out on a lot of other things, but I wouldn't have known because I would have been dead.
I've often said as tragic as Kobe was, like, it's good we never had to see him look like Muhammad Ali.
I've always felt that it's great we never got John Lennon on Twitter.
Oh,
that would have
God.
been annoying as fuck.
Do you think you would have been calling Trump Trump? Remember when they were all calling Trump Trump? You think he would have been right on that train?
He would on that train, and then him and Yoko would be going nuts because he would have broke up with her. He wouldn't have stayed with her as older. He would have said something messed up during Asian Hate Month, whatever.
Dude, he would have been the first of the Me Too movement. It would have led to a whole bunch of Chinese people. You get beat by your husband's Me Too.
Oh no, yeah,
and that's the name of her sister that he fucked and cheated on her with.
No, me too. He's hanging out with Woody Allen in like the therapy meetings.
Imagine fucking your daughter. You picked her out at age 6.
You'd be like, imagine fucking your daughter. I could if I tried.
She'll never make fun of you. She's only seen your dick.
There's definitely some people that would have been super annoying on there. Like, I don't think Patrice would be annoying, but I think the allure, the power of Patrice O'Neal and like how we all look at him when he left in social media times, I think there would have been too many things that would have made him nuts, and it either would have gone too far one way or it would have got almost repetitive. It was great that you heard it certain places. You know what I mean? Like you didn't hear it all the time, but it was special when he did go on O&A or was on Tough Crowd or in his stand-up. But like being able to do it every day or he'd have to eventually have a regular podcast. And I think it would have lost it, this whole thing, but definitely Twitter would have ruined him because he would have been all this shit going on now. Black Lives Matter, Patrice would have been like weird.
Yeah, it's another great example of like good. I'm glad we didn't have to see him comment on certain things.
Mm.
Even towards the end, he was already tired of Twitter. Like he was already
Yeah,
like, this is too much. So yeah, it would have been nuts.
yeah, it would have been fucking real weird with that. But all right, do you want to start off? Or you want me to start off? What do you got?
I'll start off.
Sure.
Let's
Okay.
get out in the day with something fun.
You want
Hang on
fun?
one
Because
sec.
I can start off with something terrible. So your choice.
Well, one man's terrible is another man's treasure. Let's
Okay.
see. Why don't you go first? While I
All right.
pull
I
my
don't
story up.
think this
I'm
will
sorry.
be. Speaking of one man's treasure, creepy dad who allegedly drugged 12-year-old girls' smoothies always kept track of coworkers' kids. Thought he was being nice. They always said.
What?
Good. Good morning. The Oregon man accused of feeding drug-laced mango smoothies to his daughter's friends showed a creepy interest in his coworkers' children. The Post has learned. Michael Maiden is working as an HR director for the renewable energy company Avangrid. He was known around the office for being friendly and jovial, but one of his former colleagues now questions his motives. He always wanted to know about our families, a colleague who worked with him for about 2 years until 2021 told the Post. He'd ask about my kids, how old they are, what extracurriculars they liked. Then he'd tell me what his kids were up to. It seemed really innocent at the time. But the colleague says his interest extended past office hours. He was the only coworker who would like my daughter's cheer pictures on Facebook, she recalls.
Nope.
he would ask he would ask questions about her. He knew my kids' names and ages. He kept track of that stuff. I thought he was just being nice.
Nope. Nope. No. No.
Maiden, 57, faces multiple charges stemming from an August 26th sleepover last year at his $1.2 million home in Lake Oswego, Oregon. According to the probable cause affidavit obtained by the Post, Maiden served three of his daughter's 12-year-old friends mango smoothies laced with, you're better at saying drug names, benzodiazepine. Did I say it right?
Nailed it. 10 out of 10. It's weird
Nice.
you knew what
Uh,
that
the,
one and how to pronounce it.
because I watched John Mulaney talk to David Letterman last night. I
That's
saw it in the
hilarious.
captions. But
I just
that was
thought
a
you would go in and be like, "Can I get a bunch of benzodiazepine, please?"
that
Don't
was
ask
a
why.
yeah, that was a pretty good interview. If people want to check that out, it just came out yesterday on Netflix. A depressant that slows the nervous system. Two of the girls allegedly fell into a thick, deep sleep, according to the affidavit. A third girl frantically texted her parents and friends asking for someone to help her. Soon, parents of all the girls descended on the home at 3 a.m. the following day. The girls' parents took them to the hospital after they required help walking and could not recall what happened to them the night before, with one girl telling police she blacked out after drinking 2 smoothies. According to a statement from the Lake Oswego Police Department, officers later determined that Maiden was responsible for the drugs detected in the girls' bloodstreams. Maiden faces felony charges of causing another person to ingest a controlled substance and application of a controlled substance to the body or another person. Police have not suspected on Maiden's motive. Speculate on Maiden's motive. He has pleaded not guilty and is free on $50,000 bond, which no. Maiden and his wife divorced last October, less than 2 months after the incident, according to the divorce judgment obtained by the Post. Now in hiding in Vancouver, Washington, Maiden has no contact with his children, sources told the Post. The violation of trust is the worst betrayal of any of us in the family have ever experienced. A relative of the wife, Yukiko Ishida, told the Post. He's not fit to be around children, and I don't think his own kids will ever talk to him again. Well, not if he keeps knocking them the fuck out with juice. But neither of Maiden's 2 children have been named as victims in the court documents. Yeah, he's not gonna bang his own kids. He's not. He's not a creep.
He's not Woody Allen.
Guy's got standards. Maiden's attorney, Mark Coogan, did not return the Post request for comment, but previously told the Oregon that his client is presumed innocent, and we hope the people will reserve judgment until all the facts and circumstances are known. Maiden is due in court again next month. Who is the piece of shit in this story? It's Michael Maiden just trying to make smooth. Listen, we all start with, you ever try to make something, Bobby, for the first time and you don't have a recipe and you're just trying to make some kind of, some fun things. You can try to make a fun lasagna and you're like, what do I put in there? Do I put meat in there? Or do I put Oxycontin? I don't know. And sometimes you mess up and you grab the wrong thing. Like you have the meat vial and then you have the Oxycontin vial. And then you're like, oh, I shook the wrong one. I'm sure
And
it's going to taste
sometimes you
fine.
have
And
the
then kids
best
get
fucking
knocked out.
lasagna recipe ever by accident.
Yeah, sometimes you do. And sometimes all the kids are like, I had the best sleep I ever had. Thanks, Mr. Maiden. But then sometimes you drug kids and one kid freaks out and texts his mom, I don't know what's happening to me. And then you have a bad
Help.
day. It happens.
One
Now,
just
is
said
it him?
help.
It's help. Yeah, like the Beatles. But the is it him for drugging smoothies and asking about listen, you're at work at a job and you feel like no one cares about you there, and then that one person's like, "Hey, Bobby, remember a couple weeks ago you said you were gonna go visit your mom and dad? How'd that go?" You're like, you know what? That's nice they remembered that. And then all of a sudden something bad happens, and you go, "Oh, he's a creep." That's why I asked. You don't have to connect church and state. Maybe he really did just care about other people's days. Maybe that's the way he was. Maybe that's, and he also liked to drug kids. It could have been separate. You didn't want to drug your kids. Your kids are probably too ugly for him to drug. You never know. And he was liking their cheer pictures. Sometimes you gotta like a cheer pic. You put it up there. You put your kid on Facebook being ready to cheer. If you don't want likes, don't let Michael Maiden follow you on Facebook. You're looking for likes. That's why you put it up. You're using your kid so you could get attention. It's not your kid's Facebook. It's yours. You're being a little weirdo too, aren't you? Putting out pictures of your kid cheering. Cheering for what? Nothing good. You know what I mean? Is it those people that were complaining about all that stuff? Can't believe he was asking questions. He kept tracking my kids and wanted to know their names and stuff. Oh, like people do. It's a fun conversation. Is it his ex-wife? Not because she left him 2 months after, didn't stay with him on this. It makes me feel like maybe she's the one who drugged the smoothies because she wanted to leave him and then blamed him. And then she was like, "Oh, he did. He's the creeper." But she just wanted him to get in trouble because you notice he wasn't hitting on his own kids. There's no talk of any sexual activity. It was just weird drugging. Now, as adults, they'd say, "Oh, some kind of like poisoning thing." They wouldn't even go into this weirder thing. So maybe it's the wife being a weirdo. Is it the two kids for not
Bitches do
talking to
be
dad
lying.
anymore? The two kids are not talking to dad anymore. School can be tough, and you need someone to have your back that doesn't mind going that extra mile in case you get bullied. If your dad's willing to drug people that were your friends, imagine what he'll do to people that were your enemies. Maybe you want to keep your dad in close, guys. You don't want to keep pushing him far away. Or is it his lawyer? Be like, hey, guys, how about we don't do any judgment till later? We're doing judgment. The guy's drugging kids. Who's a piece of shit?
So it's not. It's hard to choose just one, Pat. I think everybody kind of involved in this story is a piece of shit. Let's start with the mango smoothie pedophile. Yes, Kish. He is a piece of shit. He's the one that allegedly put benzodiazepines in the smoothies to I don't know what to do what to the kids, but nothing good. You're not
I don't
doing
know why.
something
That's the
good.
worst pedophile name of all times.
Yeah, but you're not doing something good when you go, we need we need them not to remember what happened. It's never like, oh man, Disney World was so fun. We'll never be able to live up to that dream again. Quick, put a bunch of benzodiazepine. It's never a good thing. It's also the parents of those kids. Don't post pictures of your kids on Facebook.
You
Don't do it.
can, but don't be shocked when
Don't.
some weirdo likes it.
No, just don't do it. Like in this day and age with the technology that's out there, don't post your kids on Facebook. Just don't. There are sickos in the world. They can do what they want. Like, just don't. Don't post that shit on your Facebook. Also, like, it's your job to determine who your kids get to interact with. Why were they spending the night with this weird man?
Well, they were because they were with his daughters. It was his daughter's
Right.
friends. It was a sleepover.
But
I don't think these are different parents than the ones that their pictures liked.
but
You know, I mean,
here's my
the ones
point.
who are
Two
getting their
different
pictures liked are the
yeah.
ones
No,
at
no,
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
understand.
right.
But like they were there because those parents were like, yeah, this man's okay to have. Mike Maiden, guy with the last name Maiden who runs around pretending he's a little girl. No, don't let your kid sleep there.
Meyden.
What's gonna happen to my kids? Are you gonna rape them? I Maiden.
Oh no! I made it. I like tater tots. I made
Yeah,
that
yeah,
right,
yeah.
kids.
I made them
By the
squeal
way,
like a
I just
pig.
like Kish's. I like Kish's use of ghoul. I haven't heard ghoul in a while. And yeesh.
I was gonna say yeesh was what got me.
Yeah, both got me.
I walk around town with a stiff erection, then gave your mother a yeesh infection. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you hide
That's
your
you know what?
family?
That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
This is a hard one to be the guy who's going to make the jokes when you're like, no, Pat, you hide your kid. I'm like, yeah, Bobby, I know, I have kids.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
posting all over the
sorry.
place. I'm just trying to be funny. You don't see my kids cheering anywhere on fucking internet.
No, no, that's my point. Also, like, uh, the kids. This man gave you 2 smoothies? You tolerated 2 smoothies from a gentleman? Fuck you. That's on you. Like, you go over to an adult's house for a sleepover and he goes, I'm going to make smoothies. You go, I'm going to call my parents. This isn't my house where I'm sleeping this evening. I don't trust people who
Mango,
have
not in
smoothies
this
before
body.
bed. Yeah, exactly. And mango smoothies at that. And where was this at? Not somewhere where there are good fresh mangoes. So the kids are
Well,
kind of shit. His kids are definitely pieces of shit. If your dad's accused of drugging and raping kids, he should be your primary custody parent because you're gonna get away with whatever the fuck you want. Hey,
yeah,
you out hanging with your friends? Yeah. Did you fuck those kids, Dad?
yeah. I mean, I guess Kish has a point. Yeah.
And then the final. Sorry, go to Kish's point, and I'll give you my final piece of shit.
Well, it's all about status. He says people are obsessed with status to the point where unconsciously exploiting their kids. That point is there. I thought you meant the other way. Remember, the big key to this is where did this happen? In their $1.2 million home. I think, people, you're like, why would someone send their kids over? Because they're hobnobbing with the other powerful people. I mean, that's what
No,
I don't, no, I don't think their parenting is when I'm not saying that people that are rich can't take care of their kids, but I think the more money that you have, the less focus you have on family and the more focus you have on continuing that money happening. So I think they won't even really know they're there. They're just like, oh, there's a scheduled sleepover. Guadalupe told us our maid lady that she told us that they scheduled a thing there with their maid, so we're sending our kids back and forth. They probably didn't even know. The fact that they were like they couldn't contact 2 of the parents till 3 a.m. Dude, when my kids slept over anywhere, we were calling. We had phone calls. Good night. Like, want to call me late? Whatever it is. If they phones and they were later. Even to this day, sometimes hey, you're gonna be out late, and they're adults now. Hey, let me know what's going on. The fact that they didn't even know, disconnected parents, perfect place for maiden swoopy creep to come on in and go. You want some mango smoothies? You know what I mean? Like they're not paying
I
attention as
I
much.
do, but I won't let you sit here and let you besmirch Guadalupe's good name, okay?
I'm
Those
sorry,
people
I didn't.
in particular know how to handle that demographic of pedophilia. No
They
me
do, but not
gusta,
with only with their
senor.
own kids.
No me gusta, senor maiden. Es pedofilio.
No, I don't think they call him
No,
that.
Guadalupe, you can't invite your cousin pedofilio over.
It's me, pedofilio. I touch your goods and your services.
For me, the last one though is that the police department. Like this man's out on a $50,000 bond, but nobody took his smoothie. Like nobody took his
Oh,
fucking. He's allowed around blenders. The dude who solved a wormhole that was shutting down hospitals, they found out he did a little hacking, isn't allowed around computers for 8 years. But this guy's allowed around blenders. What are we doing here? Take that man's blender away.
all right. Let me ask this question. Let's
It's
see
time to ban blenders.
for a second. Let's see if this works. Okay, Bobby, was there ever a time in your life, and not let's take away all no thoughts of sexual, no creepiness, just real human beings. You had friends, and there was one of the friends whose mom or dad was quote unquote the cool mom or dad. The one that kind of let you watch the movie you weren't supposed to watch. Not sexual, but like a horror
Yeah,
movie. So stay up a couple hours later. You didn't have to have a curfew when you were there. You could have the snacks and treats you weren't supposed to have. You knew those parents, right?
yeah, of course.
Now, sometimes those parents are worried when they find out one of the kids hanging out is a blabbermouth. And they were never like in a bad way. They're just like, one kid's like, my mom's not really going to like it when they find out I watch Friday the 13th. I don't know what I'm going to do when I have to tell her. And you're like, well, you don't have to tell her. We're just having fun. Like, she told me I have to tell her everything, especially when strangers say don't tell her anything. It's like, fuck, who invited this kid? So you're like, shit, what do I do? Mango smoothie? You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want
I
to get
was
them to
that
forget.
blabbermouth kid.
Right. So you want to get them to forget. So was I. So that's why I'm saying that. I was like, I can't wait to tell my mom you let us do this. I had a friend, Matt Rinaldi, and his dad on his computer. It was like, wait, it's like, so I'd have to be like 10, so like 84, maybe 85. They had the Leisure Suit Larry video game. Do you ever hear that? The original one? it was a game where you could go on. You had to like program things in, like hit Control Alt X whatever, and then a little motion would happen with like Leisure Suit Larry or some shit like that. And so he was basically a guy looking around for like hookers, but it was like on a green, a black and green screen, no color, like hookers or trying to get drinks, and you only could play that if you were an adult. But his father would leave the password on the thing because he would play the game, and I guess he let his son like joke. It wasn't like they didn't show sex; it was just like stupid, silly, it was fart noises. It was dumb, but it was not for kids anyway. And we knew the password. We played it. And I remember he was just like, this is probably something your parents don't want to know. And I remember coming home going, there's this game where you could like get like ladies and stuff. Like that part didn't matter. I was always talking to my family anyway, and I was always talking shit. So there's no way. So if you threw me a couple mango smoothies, it made me forget about what I knew. That might have worked out. So I'm just saying, maybe it isn't him. Maybe it is. Maybe he used the mango smoothie for bad things, but maybe not for what we thought.
He's still a piece of shit for wasting the benzodiazepines. Then those are like that. You're supposed to roll with Lorenzo doing those.
And Kish is right. He's also ruined mango smoothies for everybody. Like nobody can get a delicious mango smoothie ever
again. That's kind of my point. If you want a mango smoothie, I already look at you and go, don't let your kids around him.
Yeah. I don't drink smoothies anyway, but if I did, mango's never the flavor for me in anything.
Again, though, we don't live where there's fresh mango. I feel like if we lived in Puerto Rico,
Oregon is not fresh mango, I don't think.
I agree. No, I'm saying like I think you and I would enjoy mango smoothies if we lived on an island where there were fresh mangoes. Like I think it's kind of like cantaloupe. A good cantaloupe, good. Bad cantaloupe, bad.
Okay, I mean, I guess it's the same way. It's like I don't mind mole every once in a while, but I wouldn't want to fucking eat mole every day. But like if I was from mole land, like, oh, senor, like, would you like some more mole? Like, I guess I would want that I would want a mole smoothie. But yeah, I'm not from those lands.
Mole.
I don't care. But mango is just saying that man should go. Like that's all. It literally is yelling to you, "Go! It's the man. He's gonna get you with the sleep."
What is
the guy was? Do you think he was a pedophile?
Yeah.
Do you think that was about sex?
Yeah. You don't give kids drugs unless if you're doing sexual things.
I put that up because I don't know that word.
Imbibing?
There's a B, so imbibing.
Imbibing.
Yeah, I don't know imbibing. I'm not shitting on him. I thought it was a different word. Sometimes I don't know words.
No, I'm gonna Google it.
I don't know words. Yeah, because it might be something else. I don't know certain words, so I didn't want to shit on it. I don't know. I don't want to agree with it either. If it means like making them.
It means drinking.
Okay, I need to start. Oh, whatever. Kevin, you're a great man, but dude, you're too smart for us. It's like, you got other words for drinking? Who's got
hit me with that AP grammar at fucking 10 a.m. All right, buddy, I'm still waking up.
We were imbibing some libations down at the local watering hole. Fuck you. You drank shots with whores. No, I'm kidding. He's great. I love it.
What does Maiden look like?
Oh, he looks like remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the guy who was the principal who got in trouble?
Yep.
Yeah, he looks like that guy. He got the red hair and shit like that.
Then it would also be him.
He's very Googleable. If you wanted to look him up, I don't know if you want to pill it. The picture does tell you. I mean, it's not. I guess it's not that bad. He's not a swarmy look. He looks like a guy who would play the bad lawyer, like the cocky look, or he looks like the guy who would play the dad of the lacrosse players who got in trouble.
I just wanted to know if he was white, so I could say he was culturally appropriating.
He's white as shit, dude. Black people aren't drugging people's kids. B, aren't doing mango smoothies, and C, really aren't living in Oregon unless they're Gary Payton. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm smoking on some Gary Payton this morning.
He's got his own weed.
You tell me.
Oh, I did not know. Nice, the glove.
I think I'm gonna go commit some mango smoothie drinking after smoking this. Isn't that what he was known for?
Thank you, Blaze. Blaze talk to us in our most language. It means drink. Don't use too many words on them, and it's fine. Now, if you watched our show last night,
dude, this is Tom Myers.
That is not Tom Myers.
It looks a
I mean,
lot
it
like
does look
Tom
good.
Myers.
It does look.
Also, I know
Can you
why
put that
Blake
picture up?
knows what that means.
Would you be able to
I
put that
can't.
picture up quick?
I'd
God
have
damn
to
it. All
email
right.
it to myself. It'd be like a 5-minute thing. Sorry.
All right. We'll figure it. By some point, maybe we'll use it later and go, do you know this man? Is it this guy against the world?
I may just take
But
the headline of this story and then fucking Photoshop Myers' face
real
on it.
quick. Yeah, real quick. If anyone watched our show last night, our POS, which is out on Patreon now, and we did a story on a Benny Blanco, and he was with Selena Gomez, and he was talking about how he gets laid by making her steaks and stuff like that. Do you think that's how it starts? You start to find out what foods work on what. Was there a time, do you think, in Michael Maiden's life that he just made a mango smoothie without any drugs in it for somebody, and then got what he wanted? If it was sex or love or conversation or like just a fun time or whatever it is, maybe not even sexual, maybe just like attention. And now and it wasn't work. He's like, I said what works, but like these kids won't be quiet. So, or maybe, like I said, maybe the recipe was wrong. Maybe Benny Blanc. Listen, Selena Gomez in that story, she was sleeping. Maybe he put the drugs in the steak or in the fried pickles. You don't know.
I Here's my thing. It takes a lot of effort to put something like that into a steak because a lot of it's going to end up in the juice and then drip off. So it would probably have to be the pickle. And I could see him doing that. Isn't that the Puerto Rican delicacy? A roofied pickle?
Feed pickle is their delicacy. He's
Mm-hmm.
our number one export. He's wonderful. V coming back from last night. Yeah, but yeah, if you
What
guys
up,
haven't
V?
gone
What
over
up,
and check
Blaze?
out the Patreon. That was a fun one last night. And we'll having a lot more episodes going up on there. Yeah, so I think the piece of shit in this story is, who would you say it was at the end?
Everybody involved.
Yeah. I thought I'm kind
There's
of
no good people.
I mean the kids didn't I to be honest, that one girl who was able to but when she gets older, people party with the girl who was able to live through the 2 drug smoothies and make text first. That's the person you need on your squad. When everybody's too fucked up and you're like, how do we get out of here? Who orders an Uber? That one person is like, I got that. Their mind is gone, but their body still knows how to get help. That you always need that person. That one person who can get you out of that fucking jam. Those 2 girls they better thank that other girl for the rest of their fucking lives because she was able to fucking go. She's like, yo, mom, we need help. The other 2 are already out cold. She's like, fuck. That's like a Saw movie where your friends are all passed out and dead. You're like,
True.
shit, I'm the only one who can do anything. So that girl, that's the hero.
True. In that moment, she might be a hero, but the issue is going forward, I saw 2 girls, 1 smoothie. Pretty good.
You can't already know what I'm laughing at. Come on. It was 3 girls. How dare you?
The issue is that girl is going to be a piece of shit the rest of her life. Like she is going to be an absolute criminal going forward. Like at any party, don't drink that. Somebody could have put something in there. Did you know I was almost raped one time? Like she's going to be an annoying person to hang out with, and she's probably going to end up like a real woman's activist feminist.
I don't think so.
Oh no, yeah, she's gonna be like one of those like bull dykes at fucking Columbia. Like, I support the country that would cut off my clit.
Wait, you said she's gonna be maybe a criminal?
Criminally annoying to be around. I said,
Yeah,
like it's so annoying.
So
you're going to commit a crime by shooting her.
She's been hit by a smoothie criminal. I hope he walked in like that. He had the whole white suit with fucking children. Are you okay? Children, are you okay? Are you okay? Children, are you okay? He's dancing around. You've been struck by. They're like, one kid's like, please just fucking rape us. I'd rather that than the song and dance.
I mean, he did pretty much do the
doing
Michael
show.
Jackson of giving him Jesus juice, just mango juice. It's kind of like the Asian version.
Morning, Jim. He's a crazy, tired man. But I get it, Kevin. I right. On many occasions, I have wanted to make children of a Penetrol's milkshake so they'd shut the fuck up. We all listen. It's the reason why when you have a child, when you first have a baby in the hospital, 80 times say, "Hey, don't shake it," and they just keep telling you that over and over. Some comic was doing that joke. I forget what, but it is 100% true. It's and you finally get it home, and you're like, ah, I get it. It's like you don't ever want to do it, but like, it's be quiet. Like you could give it a mango smoothie, it'd be fucking great. Um, it'd be
Morning
fucking
gym as well.
yes. But yeah, the piece of shit in this story to me, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say it's Michael Maiden, the guy who's like, because even if he's listen, it sounds
Yeah, how
to me
dare
we
he
got a
waste
guy.
those drugs?
Well, we don't know if it's a waste. The problem is he might have used them on many other people who just didn't fucking complain.
So did
but
Cosby.
but some
They
I'm
just
saying
called that a good
maybe
Tuesday.
maybe Maiden's numbers. Oh, wait, whoa, Bobby. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe our piece of shit here is Mr. Bill Cosby, or more importantly, Mr. Heathcliff Huxtable, the character he played. Because what was he known as? America's TV dad. Michael Maiden trying to be a good dad, but doesn't know how to. Doesn't know how to relate to his kids. He works hard. He's an HR guy. He makes like $1.2 million home. He's got tons of money and stuff. And he's like, what did Mr. Cosby do? He'd be like silly and dance around, and he'd make the kids laugh and have fun, but he'd also drug ladies. So if I combine those two things, maybe I'm the best dad. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, I want to be woke, and those kids should be woke after these drugs pretty soon. So we'll see if we can woke them up.
It's definitely a possibility.
And Kevin, I agree. Kids can be shittier than adults, teens, stuff like that. But it sounds like these kids were just having a sleepover. It doesn't sound like he was like, I couldn't handle any more of their shit. It's time for because I think once you're making a any kind of exotic smoothie is more about the fun you're trying to have than anger. Like if he drugged their like pizza or like their mac and cheese, that would just be I'm out of frustration so much. I'm just throwing this on the thing you're gonna eat. To do the mango smoothie means you have to convince the kid, hey kids, you know what's fun? Let's pretend like we're from the tropics. Like you're into this. So I don't think they were being bad. I think they were being duped. You know what I mean? Kind of like the
I
No
made
Different
this
Strokes
point already.
episode.
The kids should have been like, no, we're not having fucking smoothies. We're kids. Fuck you, you fucking
Right.
pedophile. The
That's what I'm
minute he
saying. So
brought out
therefore,
smoothie at all, they should have gone, fuck you. Fuck you.
right. No, and I'm agreeing with your point. And I'm just saying that therefore, I don't think they were being bad. I think, if anything, this guy was going, no, they're fun. We can do a conga line. And they're like, all right, we can watch King Kong versus Godzilla while having mango smoothies. I think that's what they drank in those islands.
These are all fucking hints to stay away from this guy. He's a criminal.
Yeah, I remember that coming home. My grandma would be like, would you like a kumquat smoothie? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, grandma? Make cookies. Yeah, but my grandma never made a smoothie once. Oh, Jesus Christ, Kevin. We'll end it on this, and then we'll go to our next story. Nobody wants your uncle's smoothies. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the piece of shit is everybody. It's also me for going, Bobby. Bobby was like, you want something fun to start in the morning? I'm like, or do you want something awful? Because you were just going with my flow. That wasn't you doing that. It's all me. We could have started the morning just fine. It's been about 40 minutes of mango smoothie rapist. Oh, pedophile. I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse it with a different guy's work.
That's the real distinction.
All right. What do you got to make us feel better, Bobby?
Well, in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, a significant legal confrontation is unfolding involving a local English teacher and the authorities. The controversy began when plainclothes police officer searched the teacher's 8th grade classroom for a copy of, quote, Genderqueer, a Memoir, end quote, by Maya Kobabe, a book provided as yeah, that's important for this story. A book provided as supplemental reading material, which students could check out, but only with the teacher's permission. The incident has escalated quickly to the point where the teacher is now threatening to file a civil rights lawsuit against both the town and the Berkshire Hills Regional School District unless they agree to mediation. The teacher, who has requested anonymity due to fear of harassment, was questioned by the police about the book following a complaint. The situation has led to a breakdown in the enforcement of school policies and communication channels, as revealed by an independent investigation. The investigation also noted the superintendent's response was not only to the complaint about the book, but also to other allegations of inappropriate conduct against the teacher.
Oh
As a
no.
result of these events, both the town and the school district have scheduled a closed door meeting with their attorneys to discuss the potential litigation. The teacher's attorney, Howard Cooper, has sent a comprehensive demand letter to both parties, although it remains unclear which party has yet to respond to the mediation proposal. Additionally, Great Barrington's insurance company has engaged a lawyer to provide legal advice on the investigation into the police's search of the book. Yes, that's what I was going to get to. Have you read this book? So I did a little more research into this,
Good one, Kevin. I appreciate that.
and the alleged incidents are he had several students he made sit on his lap. So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it the
Made.
plainclothes police officer who went in and was like, "Hey, you got any good genderqueer books in here I could check out?" And then tapped the guy's foot in the bathroom stall? Like, if you're gonna go undercover, I want you to send in the fucking Reno 911 squad. Like, catch this man sucking a cock, and then we can go, all right, yeah, something's up here. Have Fred Armistead dressed up as a baby and
Jeez.
see if he fucks it. Like, that's how
I
you
wouldn't be
really
able to
get them.
watch
So,
it.
is it the
Oh no,
police?
Fred Armisen.
Is it the school district for not just firing this dude? You teach fifth grade. You don't need genderqueer books. And the book has naked pornography in it. That's why it's a problem. Like, and depicts like
I don't think that's the
nudity.
only reason why it's a problem, but yeah, that's also a big problem. It sounds
But
like the
that's
whole
where
book is a bit of a problem.
the legal issue comes in, is that it's considered pornography. Like, it has fucking images, like images of people fucking and shit like
Like,
that. That
but
fifth
cartoon or
graders,
real?
real images. That's why
Okay.
it's a police investigation, because he was letting kids see porn. That's where, just to clarify. So is it this fifth? It's the school district for not firing him. Is it the insurance company for being like, we don't insure pedos, get rid of them? You know what I mean? Like, they won't let your kid get a cancer treatment, but they'll let this kid touchers hang around a school. Pat, we'll kick it to you first. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Or is it the teacher himself? Just don't have porn in your classroom and stop fucking kids.
What state did this take place in? I'm sorry.
Massachusetts.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Great Barrington, which you said, by the way, which I only know from the Anthony Jeselnik's first album. But it's the place with the most suicide in the world, or
Probably
America at
because
that
that
time. It was
teacher had all
better
the
Seattle.
kids.
Yeah, but the I mean, there's obviously the piece of shit. Obviously, is any teacher that's doing this. That's awful. So that aside for a second, for a light of humor, there's something you said in this that really bothered me, and it was at the beginning where you were like, "Hey, because of it wants to keep his anonymity." I was like, "Can I say the word?" He doesn't want to keep his name out of it. We're not saying his name. When the fuck does that ever happen? We do that with kids. You don't do that with an adult. What is going on here where this teacher is, you can say all these things, but they're not going to say their name. Like that, you have been, now you're a teacher now being discussed by schools. Your name should be put out. And even if it's wrong and people might be like, Pat, well, that could ruin that person's life. Well, they're, even if they didn't do exactly what you're saying they're doing, and let's just somehow the book slipped into his hands. He didn't know. He thought he had cat in a hat, whatever the fuck. The name should be out there so we all know to stay away,
Instead,
not let
he
our
had a
kids have their
cat and
job
a
anyway.
cat.
Yes. Alas in the ass. That's his new book. But the fact that we're not getting the name, Michael Mayfeld, we got his name right the fuck away, whatever it is. You get that Maiden got it. We got his name. Boom. They said he's not even. They haven't found him guilty yet. We're just saying it. How many times? P Diddy's name's all over the place. No one found him guilty yet. They're just saying his name all over the place. Why does this teacher get their name covered when they're around children and they're doing this shit? That's the crazy part. So it's the police for saying it's cool. We're not going to give out the name. Nah, give out the name. If you could have your plainclothes cop coming in going, hey, everybody, have any cool books lately? Maybe with like dick and balls and stuff on the wrong people? Yeah, I like those books. No, fuck that. Give us the name.
I kind of see where you're coming from. I think why they're not is he's countersuing, saying like this is an educational material, and now they're making me look like a pedophile. So
But
in
if he's
order to try to
countersuing I'm sorry, but if he applied a lawsuit for real, then his name has to be out there because it's him versus this whatever. So we should have his name. So we might not be really counter. Maybe they're saying that, but his name would have to be out because it have to be. You can't just say anonymous man versus the state.
right, his name may be publicly available. The newspaper I got this from may just have chosen not to put it in, probably because they like kid touchers. But what do I know?
He also chose not to put it in, but he was close.
No, I think he put it in.
By the way, this is a
I think he
very
put it
kid
in a
toucher
font.
friendly morning. May 1st.
Well, that's why I
Hey,
went
I
with
touch
this
your
one.
kids.
Yeah.
Who do you think the piece of shit is?
So you brought up a good point about the teacher potentially being the piece of shit. But I think the piece of shit's whoever came up with the term genderqueer. Like, where there's so many different types of queer, like, oh, he's mentally queer, and that was just what we called retarded people. Or like he's
Mentally
physically queer, that's what we called handicapped people. Like, what we know what you mean when you say queer. You don't need to
he
add the
has
gender part.
he has queer leg syndrome.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
exactly. He's
That would suck if I
physically
had a
queer.
queer
He
heart.
just can't stop sucking dick. Everybody
Once
has
you
a queer
stop,
heart.
yeah, they say it's like Lay's chips. Once you start, you just can't stop. It's like, just one? What am I, an animal? Fuck. Oh, did you freeze? Are you done or what was on? Oh no.
I'm back.
All right. There you go. Good. I was like, oh no, now you did it. You're not allowed to do it. So I guess the piece of shit is schools. Let's stop reading books to kids. It doesn't lead to anything good.
Yeah,
You know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
Like it never does. It never does. Whenever the only time it led to good things is when all those kids got protected by 9/11 because George Bush was reading them a book about goats. That was like the only time it was good. While the building's getting smashed and all the while life's bad, George Bush is in there just reading the kids, and they're like, "Who the fuck's this motherfucker? Why are you reading us books? Oh, he a president? President what? Being lame?" Then they go outside and they go, "Oh my god, the world ended! What a great guy! He's such a good storyteller. We didn't realize the world was ending outside." That's the
That's a
only time
story
book
he was
reading was good.
telling. And then the little Bush's daddy got told, you can't fight in Iraq anymore. And the other Bush said, don't worry, daddy, I'll get him one day when I'm in charge.
He said, "Don't worry, Daddy. I have the same voice as you apparently in this sketch."
We pretty much do have the same voice. It's kind of one of the same. Nobody's really needed to do it since 2008.
I'll be like, I'll do it. I'll say, "Oh, hello, it's me, George Bush. I'm your father. You stupid Yale cheerleader. Oh no,
Okay.
you gonna ruin family name."
And my daddy said, because the Alzheimer's had his brain.
"Oh, Barbara Bush, get out of my house, Barbara Bush. You Quaker Oats guy. Fuck you. Oh, Barbara Bush." Oh God. We'll change it up a little bit. We'll go to one of your favorite people of all times, and recently somebody who I've been saying is one of my favorite people of all times. Together in a story. You ready?
Lindsay Lohan.
Nope. Diana Taurasi calls out sensitive fans over Caitlin Clark comments. Hey,
Oh.
your girl.
I thought
Caitlin.
it was going to be Diana Taurasi calls out sensitive fans over maiden comments because that's your new favorite guy.
No, he's not my favorite. He just makes a good beverage. Look at whatever. As a guy who doesn't drink alcohol, when I go to someone's house, they never have anything for me to drink. They're like, we don't know what to do. If one guy was like, "You want a mango smoothie?" I'm like, you know what? It's not what I normally do, but thanks for thinking of me. And then I'm out in a coma.
No, you leave the house. If somebody's
know.
offering you a smoothie, if they enjoy smoothies enough, they know how to make one on the regular. Leave. You don't need that person in your life. Even if they're not a pedophile, they're not going to be a fun time.
Right.
They're going to be the type
Bobby,
of person who, after you eat the pizza, goes, "You know how many calories that was?" And you go, "Why the fuck would you tell me that?" And you fight them out back. and then you try to throw up
Okay.
pizza, and now you got acid reflux disease, and that's not good for your
Yes.
voice. And then you wake up kind
No.
of hungry, but you still had half those calories. Now you got to get donuts.
And you already ate it anyway, so you're like, I'll just work on this tomorrow. Yeah, it's a fucking cycle. I understand. But here's the thing, Bobby. That's all hindsight. And you and I, more than anybody, know it's easy to say, why did we stay in that situation for a long time later? But in the moment, you think, there's no way this person's going to hurt me. They love me. They would never hurt me with this mango smoothie. That's what you think.
Sometimes you relate to that lyric. Feels like been trying for 3 years. Feels like 30. Seems like 90.
Speaking of 90, Diana Taurasi, who feels like she's 90 at this point, sent a message to new fans of the WNBA after she raised doubts about the 2024 rookie class, which featured former Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark, the Fever's #1 overall pick. The Phoenix Mercury star, 41, was asked at training camp this week about her previous comments, stating earlier this month that Caitlin, 22, would experience a learning curve at the pro level, and explained that she didn't regret her analysis. The new fans are really sensitive these days. You can't say anything. It's kind of like when you go from kindergarten to first grade. There's a learning adjustment. And when you go from high school to college, there's a learning adjustment. There's a bunch of videos of her. Hold on. I don't think I said anything that was factually.
Stop. What kind of videos? What kind of videos?
No, just her doing the same talk I'm doing. No mango smoothies, no
I'm
nothing.
sorry.
I don't think I said anything that wasn't factually correct. Like anything, greatness is going to translate, and she's proven that in every level, and I don't see it being any different WNBA. Taurasi faced criticism for comments she made about the star-studded rookie class, which includes Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, and a bunch of other great players. Look, SVP, reality is coming, she told Scott Van Pelt. There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it. You see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on the side when you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds. But you're going to come into some grown-ass women who've been playing professional basketball for a long time. And not saying it's going to be going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there's going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself a little grace as a rookie. It might take a little bit longer than some people. Taurasi didn't name Clark specifically, but Van Pelt presented the question as such, stating Camilla is coming, Caitlin is coming. What will the league have in store for them? And that's how she responded. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Diana Taurasi for just speaking her truth? She's a veteran of the league, one of the most famous. I know people are gonna write like WNBA. No one's famous. Listen, if you had to name 5 female basketball players of all time, most people doing the grandma test again, especially living in the East Coast, that's one of the names they're going to know. It's just been around forever. She's going to be in the Hall of Fame. She's won championships. She's in the college level and pro level. If you're going to talk to somebody about coming into the league right now, if you're going to compare her to somebody, she's LeBron. She's older, but she's still there. But you're going to go to him when you have questions about the young people in the league. You want to know what he thinks about Wemby. You want to know what he thinks about Holmgren. You know what I mean? You want to know those things. If you want to know what Durant is thinking about Anthony Edwards, you're going to go to the vet that's been around a long time about the young people coming in. So therefore, it makes sense that they would go to her. Is it Scott Van Pelt and ESPN and all them for like trying to make this angle? They are trying very hard to do Caitlin against the world. Not like Tom Myers against the world, because I think actually the only time ever more people will watch the WNBA than something else, which is watching that more than Tom Myers versus the world. Anyway, no offense, but Bobby's dying over. But
I thought that was hilarious.
That Gary Payton stuff is good shit, but it's like, sorry, they'd also go to Gary Payton when they have questions. But
Gary Payton makes mango smoothies.
It's like they're trying to get everybody to get upset about Caitlin Clark coming in. It's almost like they're almost trying to build this polarizing person instead of this person we should be cheering for, or just excited. Either way, you make your decision on it. Is it Caitlin Clark for not coming out right away and just saying, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. That would shut everything up. That would shut up Taurasi. That would shut up everyone in the league. Like, because not that she's walking out talking shit, but she has a bit of a swagger to her. She's been known as a shit talker. It does feel like she's coming in with this thing of like, oh, you guys don't know what this is. They do know what this is. They know it's going to be something else no one sees in 2 months, unfortunately. So, like, who's the piece of shit in this story?
It's not Diana Taurasi. We've said since Caitlin Clark was in the Final Four. This is what needs to be done. There needs to be shit talking. We're talking about it because of the shit talking. Diana Taurasi's not just playing a role; she's playing a role like a superstar. She knew what she was supposed to do. She talked her shit. Now people are ready for her to back it up. I'm thinking about dropping the $37 to watch the WNBA this year. Like, it's $37. It's cheaper than the Max subscription you got to watch the NBA finals. Might as well do it, right? For me, the piece of shit in this story is Scott Van Pelt. Remember when you used to cover real basketball?
I mean, it's not like he's just doing a WNBA show. It was a segment on SportsCenter, so I think it was thrown on his lap. It's like it was like when a cafeteria chef is told to make like a curry dish one time, and he's like, "Really? That's not what I do." And they're like, "Come on, you can just do this one thing while you make the mashed potatoes and the tater tots." You know what I mean? I don't think Scott Van Pelt was hoping for a big Diana Taurasi interview about Caitlin Clark.
I'm just saying, maybe if Scott Van Pelt did a better job, he would be covering the real NBA, and we wouldn't have former seventh man of the Celtics who contributed nothing to an NBA Finals acting like they're an authority on anything.
Scott Van Pelt played for the Celtics?
No, Kendrick Perkins.
Oh,
My point is, like, we've got all these guys that they're like, hey, you shot a basketball once. Come be our black guy that says funny things.
Kendrick Perkins was quite the player with OKC. Like, he had some, you know, I mean, he really helped that. So I don't think he should still talk shit, but he was important to certain teams. He just didn't do as well with the Celtics afterward. I mean, he was an important part, but not like he was there. But like, he was that one thing that could rebound when everyone else was just gunning the shit up with the Westbrook teams and everything. But no, but definitely, I feel like SVP could be the just calling yourself SVP. It makes you a piece of shit when you're a sports center now. So you shouldn't have a cool name like SVP.
Shit, vagina, pussy.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that cool.
Yeah, shit, vagina, pussy.
I think the piece of shit in this story is everyone else in the WNBA who is not Diana Taurasi. Where are you? Why are you not saying anything? Why is Diana Taurasi doing this? You know what this makes me want to do? And I said this before and I'll say it again. It makes me can't wait to watch when Phoenix plays Indiana. Holy shit, I just said that out loud. I can't wait to watch the Phoenix Mercury play against the Indiana Fever in WNBA basketball because you know what? They're all the same height. So it doesn't matter what position they are. Diana's going to at one point cover Caitlin Clark. Even if she's not guarding of the game, at one point we're going to get that matchup. We're going to see if Caitlin comes under the pressure. We're going to see how it goes. And maybe Diana will take it for a little bit. And then when they play again, you're going to want to see that shit. But if I was every other team, every star of every other team, I would be chirping too. Can't wait till Caitlin walks in and everyone forgets her name and talks about me. Thanks for giving me the rub, kid. I haven't been talked about in a while. You know, can't wait till you come in and I embarrass shit. We go, who's next from Iowa? Thank you. You know, it's like, you know, what are you, Harold Miner? Because, yeah, remember when people thought he was Baby Jordan from USC? Yo, you don't remember that? Oh, no one does. Because we all remembered that for like a couple weeks and then he sucked because he talked too much shit and called himself Baby fucking Jordan and he did not live up to that fucking name. So come on in. And if she does prove it, great. Either way, you know it's not out of hate. I'll guarantee you Taurasi's hitting her up in the DMs saying, Caitlin, proud of you. Let's go, kid. Happy to have you in this league. Let's make some money. And I'm sure it was, finally, someone's talking about us. Let's chirp up, guys, because people only care about Indiana. Because guess what? If I'm not a fan of Caitlin Clark, guess whose jersey I am buying? Caitlin Clark's the number one selling jersey there is right now in all sports. Diana Taurasi is going to be pretty close. When you start making that the bad girl, she's becoming the Bill Laimbeer, the Rick Mahorn, the Isaiah Thomas, the bad boy of fucking WNBA. We need that shit. So I
gotta tell you,
you and I,
as somebody who was just in Phoenix, though, I got to tell you, that's going to be tough because I spent a day looking for a Diana Taurasi Mercury jersey, and they just do not sell them.
No, I would guess it's mostly an online sale, and it's mostly happening in like Northampton, Massachusetts, San Francisco, California, somewhere in Portland, Oregon, places where lesbos run free, you know.
Come to wish.com, the official team shop of the Phoenix Mercury.
Here's your on Temu. I ordered a Kevin Durant, and all I got was this Diana Taurasi. Like, God damn it.
Dude, I'd be pumped. You went from the unit to the fucking package.
But yeah, I really think it's all the other players for not jumping in on the Diana Taurasi shouldn't be having to apologize. I know she had to because people are giving her heat, and she's like, they're probably like, we're getting hate shit. She doesn't want hate, but at the end of the day, she's just like, hey, and she's right. At the end of the day, it's like, as comedians, how many times do you see a young comic or yourself when you were a young comic? You when you first did, if you can really be humble and remember when you first came in, you thought within a year you'd be the person that was on TV and doing it. You had these delusions of grandeur because you didn't know anything better. Now, I'm not saying you know you were the best, but you just didn't know the steps that it took. And it took you watching a really good comic. I remember the first time there was a comedian out of Australia. His name was Jim Short. And I was like a year and a half in, and he was headlining at the Hartford Funny Bone. And he was traveling around all the funny bones and improv stuff like that. And I'm sure you've never heard of him. I'm sure a lot of people haven't. Like I was hosting that show thinking, oh, some guy who I've never heard of. I'll probably blow him out of the water. The guy absolutely murdered for 5 shows, and it was like a lesson in holy shit. There's so many levels to comedy. There are so many people that are so good. There's guys like him, a guy like Jim Delakis, and I don't know why I'm just naming Australian guys, but there's all these guys I didn't even know existed that were coming over here. They had to come over from Australia and being the big star there, then come here and be a nobody and have to fight their way up to do that again. Those kind of watching those kind of guys and saying, wow, this guy's amazing. I can't believe how good this guy is. I thought I was as good as everyone else, and I'm like, I'm not even close. And that's what Diana Taurasi is kind of saying. You don't understand the levels. There's women in this league that you don't know that are going to school you. You know what I mean? Like they're like how many people? Like Jamal Crawford, one of the greatest best scorers in all time in the NBA, was a bench player because he was better off the bench. But at the same time, people be like, "Oh, you on the bench? You're no good." Oh yeah, watch me. Like, you think you're some young pup who's going to play with me? You're not going to play with me. You know, we talked about Scalabrine all the time, doing that thing to regular people. But I'm talking about at the level, the same thing. People playing in the WNBA together. Tarazi should say something. Hey, kid, realize it's going to be harder than you think. If you come in here thinking you're going to be a star, that's going to be a tough life for you. And at the end of the day, what does Tarazi want? She wants this girl to succeed because Tarazi's probably going to end up coaching or being part of the leagues or something like that for a long time. And she wants this league to stay if it's still around. And we're going to need Caitlin to be there. So we want you to succeed and do well. We want you to know it's going to be a struggle. Don't come in with a hot, cocky attitude or you'll quit in 2 years.
I don't think that's what she's doing at all. I think she's
So.
doing the WWE.
She's from Connecticut. She's a
promo.
Connecticut person. She's smart. That's all.
No, I think she's doing the WWE thing really. Like maybe there is some like, hey, heads up, but I think it's for getting the attention now. I think if it wasn't Caitlin Clark, it would be that other chick from LSU, right? Like I think
Angel
that's
Reese.
what they're trying. Angel Reese, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
the reason I wasn't sure is I have a story about the other LSU girl, but
Oh, former LSU girl.
maybe
Yeah, nice.
that playing international basketball.
Well, I thought it was the one that moved to TCU just now. Okay, but no, there's
No,
different
different story. But and maybe you're right now. But what I really look forward to is like I do think there's a lot of I'm just doing this for the media. You know, it's just for the views. It's just for the clicks. And I look for the day, probably like 3 years in, where Caitlin Clark's had enough, and she finally snaps. Because this whole time they're like, Caitlin, just be the good girl, do the right thing. Don't snap back. Just, figure it out, hit your groove. This is the business. And one day she's gonna snap and realize I'm better than everybody else in this league. And it's gonna be very entertaining to watch her ball.
No, and I agree, but like I think we're on the same page because I don't know if you know this WWE.
Oh, I don't think we are.
Does
I think we're talking about
the
two very different things.
The WWE does let people know what they're gonna say. It's not. It is the DM. It is. I'm cutting this promo, but you know what it's about because we're on the same page, dude. So it's literally the same fucking thing.
Oh no, I know. But dude, I think you got what I was doing halfway through there.
Yeah, I did. But by the way, I did. But by the way, for everybody with the Connecticut things, fuck you. What is going on? I'm from Connecticut. Why are you getting Dan Taurasi played for Connecticut, the best program in women's basketball history? No, Connecticut doesn't finance the WNBA, but we kind of do. We let the women's team play in Mohegan Sun. They have a sweet ass arena. Like, so it's like they get to play in a really great place. We're one of the few states states and actually watches basketball. So yeah, and yeah, there are some smart people from Connecticut. I'm not going to say I'm one. My brother's smart and he's from there, so that works out.
That's a good point. Jake's pretty intelligent. You know who's
I'm
a
going to
big
grab a
fan of
coffee
mango
quick.
smoothies?
Oh,
Go ahead. While you do
go ahead,
that,
go ahead.
I'll talk. No, go
Yeah,
get your
talk.
coffee.
Oh, I
You know
am.
who was a very big fan of mango smoothies would be Gino, that head coach of the Connecticut women's team. I've heard. It seems like he's very into mango smoothies and cheese pizza, if you catch my drift. We'll see if Pat addresses that when he comes back. You can catch me not this weekend, but the following weekend at Rick Bronson's House of Laughs in Minnesota, featuring for the Great Ehrenberg. And this Sunday, I will be at a comedy club. I believe it is the Creek View Inn in Pennsylvania. And make sure you're subscribed on the Patreon here. Check out the Davy Max Sports program. We had a real fun one yesterday, but I would say focus on the Patreon here. Pat, welcome back.
Thank you. I did hear that. I had the headphones in, and I addressed it by saying, at least that's a Gino you can get behind. You know what I mean? Like that's the only Gino that I can support. That's the only Gino that I think has good opinions. And that Gino, yes, both Ginos are old men who hang around young women and try to inspire them for their own good and not for the good of those women. But I think you're both having that name Gino can make you a piece of shit. Anyway, so I that's all I'm saying with that. If you want to check me out this week, I'll be at Mohegan Sun, the home of the Connecticut Sun, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Also Friday, I'll be at Twisted Vine and Derby. This weekend, if you're in Connecticut with WPLR, I'll be at the 991 PLR tent for the Daffodil Festival. Meredith's food trucks, all that fun shit. Come over and say hi and all that bullshit there. The following weekend, I've got shows again at Mohegan Sun on Sunday. And then on that Friday, yes, Kevin, I aspire for pure idiocy. That'd be a good time. And then on Friday, I'll be in Thomaston, Connecticut next Friday. But coming up big, we're getting towards it. I've been working on it for a while now. In August 8th through 10th, at Comics Mohegan Sun, there'll be a Smoothie Trucks. I hope are there. That'd be great. At 8th through 10th, I'll be recording my next album. I'm really happy with the way the material is coming along. We'll be doing that. So if you live in Connecticut, Kevin, or people like that around the New England area, mark that on your calendars. August 8th through 10th, I'll be headlining Comics Roadhouse and Mohegan Sun, recording my next album. So keep an eye out for that. Now Bobby is back. And what do you have any other takes on Geno's?
Mangoes, smoothies. I like Jim Grindles. I like Blaze Howes. And I like the fact that there may be a new podcast coming with a guy who doesn't like podcasts.
Yeah. That's
So-
always fun. Forcing people to do shit.
Yep, against their will. Kind of like my name's Gino Carano.
Sorry, I just got a notification of one of your AI things you put up. I was like, oh, nice. Is this an LGBTQs fan or what? Like, what is... I like that it's clips about our show, but I can't tell what the hell it is.
That's the story of Adam and Eve.
Is what a bringer show? My fucking me headlining a weekend? No, dickhead. It's not a fucking bringer show. The Thursday show I host, yeah, this Thursday is other people on the show have to bring fucking people, but I will not. I'll be bringing the wonderful Dan Brown with me, and he'll be performing, and then other more like 13 idiots will be battling for some prize or some shit like that. I don't know. I think you're next up on the old storyboard, sir.
I believe I am. Terry, I don't know. Don't quote me on the Creek View, and it's a little far from you though. If you're on the West Shore, I think it's about an hour. So I mentioned I had a story about an LSU woman.
Yeah.
Mine was Lane Maxwell, who declared for the WNBA draft but didn't get drafted. So good news though. We've got a story about her because she found a way to continue her dream in another way, Pat. And that's good morning, listeners. Today we're spotlighting a groundbreaking story from Saudi Arabia, where Lane Maxwell is making sports history. Lane has become the first woman to play for the, how would you pronounce this? Karantina.
Karan. Oh, I was like, how do I pronounce Tina?
I think it's Karantina.
I would say Karantina.
But it's Saudi Arabia, so they're Muslims. Do you think it's Karantina?
But I would still go, oh, it might be it's Karantina. I guess it's Tentina.
So Lane Lane has become the first woman to play for the Carantina Globetrotters, a renowned basketball team that is a branch off of the Harlem Globetrotters.
I don't think it's a branch off. It's a whole tree
Known
off. Harlem to Garantina.
known for their dazzling performances and now their bold moves towards gender equality. In a country where traditions run deep, Lane's
The song
presence on the
Sweet
court.
Ganesh Brown plays in the background. It's like sweet. Oh, look at this. There's a snake on my arm. Sorry.
No, I forgot where I was. It's okay. Oh, good. I was enjoying it. In a country where the traditions run deep, Lane's presence on the court is not just a game changer. It's a powerful statement for women everywhere. Each dribble and dunk by Lane is a step forward in challenging cultural norms and showcasing that talent truly knows no gender. However, a lot of people are criticizing the decision because her special talent is, quote, being a woman who plays basketball. Who's a piece of shit in this story?
Yeah, Caitlin Clark's got it rough.
Is it Lane Maxwell, who might not quite realize what she just signed up for? Is it the WNBA? Find this bitch a role better than playing in Saudi Arabia. Is it the Carantina Globetrotters? Because I looked it up, and Carantina is the poorest city in all of Saudi Arabia, much like Harlem in New York. So they went with the stereotype and just kept going. Yeah, you get the idea. Who's the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Because I just want to laugh at it.
Well, first of all, Bobby, I think and we don't ask. Listen, we love our viewers, the people that are in there. I don't even want to call them fans. They're just our friends that are here talking with us and stuff. And some of us support us on Patreon. Some support just by watching the show and liking things. If you guys could get me and Bobby Carantina Globetrotters jerseys, we would be the happiest people in the history of the world. I want to see what this jersey looks like. I can't believe there's no way there's even one for sale, but I want one really fucking bad. I want a Carantina Globetrotter jersey real fucking bad. The piece of shit in this story, A, is probably us for doing 2 women's basketball stories in a row after 2 pedophile stories in a row. We're really bringing it with if someone said, "What's that show about?" Oh, it's about pedophilia and women not doing things well. And that's not really the theme I think we're supposed to be going for, but it might be us. But I don't know. It's not the woman who's the first one ever to play. She's not a piece of shit.
Can I just correct myself? Her name's Alexis Morris. I don't know why I called her Lane Maxwell, which is just short for Lane Maxwell.
That just ruined everything I was gonna do.
I'm so sorry.
Because it was all gonna be holy shit. It's the woman who had to fucking go, holy shit, I can make something out of my life. There's no one else with a name like this. And then a couple years ago, Lane Maxwell show. I was like, she's Lane Maxwell? Like that was my whole fucking bit. I was like, how is she both playing basketball overseas and trafficking children at the same time? Fuck Epstein. This girl should be getting all the clout. She can balance 2 careers like that. That's amazing. I was fired up.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why my summarizing tool was like, you know what, let's change her name from Alexis to Lane Maxwell.
Wait, AI did that?
Summarized it, yeah.
AI said, "Oh, this is a woman who's doing well. It must be Lane Maxwell."
Dude, yeah, essentially.
In AI's mind, that's the only woman that's ever done anything worthwhile. They're like, yeah, she's doing okay. She's pushing boundaries and she's doing men stuff. Oh, like trafficking women. It must be Lane Maxwell. It couldn't be Alexia Moore. Now you just name some black lady who's just probably really good at basketball, but not good enough to play against Caitlin Clark.
Like, this is the story I gave it to summarize.
Unable to get on WNBA roster. Yeah, ex-LSU star Alexis Morris signs with Globetrotters, plays overseas. Yeah, it's
Alexis Morris is a set name.
Where in that is By the way, Bobby, we were talking about clips earlier. Why don't you mark down about like 4 minutes ago and just take out the part where you realize it's not just like Maxwell playing basketball? Anyway, that 110, I think would be a good mark for you. Anyway, yeah. Now, you know what? Now it's you. Write your own stories. Fuck you with your summaries. You know what I mean? Get up 10 minutes earlier. Fuck that. I thought we had the greatest second name ever to just say Lane Maxwell playing basketball. You're like, oh, here it is. Jill Epstein, her dad, Jeff, kind of known for being a globetrotter himself.
For me, the piece of shit in the story, other than AI for just being like a successful woman, pedophile ring, would be probably the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, where do we draw the line? What's next? A real life Airbud?
Didn't they do that?
Probably.
I think they did have a dog play game or two.
Then it's probably the Globetrotters for hiring a dog before a woman. They're like,
Well,
no,
the dog, yeah, the dog
than a dog, a woman.
They definitely had a woman. The Harlem Globetrotters have women on the team now.
Oh well, I don't like that.
They also had white people on it, but they had white people on after women. And that was the weirdest. Like, white people on the Harlem Globetrotters? No, thank you.
Gosh.
Are you looking up white people on the Harlem Globetrotters? I don't know if I'm right, but I thought there was.
It's amazing. I go, I'm just not free until 10 these 3 days. And every day somebody's like, let's talk right at 9:15. And even if I wasn't doing this at that time, that's not an appropriate time to text somebody.
No. You know what else is an appropriate time? Like midnight or 1 a.m. when someone's like, hey, man, do you have any advice for me for this contest I got in that I'm not in for 4 more weeks? Like, you have to give you advice right now at 1 a.m. Here's advice. Lose my number, you piece of shit. Stop texting me at 1 a.m. for advice in a contest where, by the way, we're all shocked you got in. You're not going to fucking do well. You stink. Here's my advice. Kill yourself.
Well,
how about that
one? I was going to say, well, maybe he was up taking care of his kid, but the fact that you said you didn't think he was going to do well makes me think it's no longer Manny.
Oh, no, Manny would never ask me for advice. Yeah, Ghislaine was shooting threes. You're right. I like that. But all right. I just mentioned something that you may want to lead into. So I know you just did a story. Do you think you should, because I kind of brought that up and didn't mean to, do you want to go to yours next or should I do me next?
Let's do you, because that way, if we run out of time, we've done all the story. Like, that's evergreen. We could talk about it. What Pat's alluding to is there was a local comedy contest and somebody's upset. And we'll just talk about it. But go ahead. I think yours is probably bigger and better.
I don't know if it's bigger and better, but I think because we've talked about a lot of
probably not bigger
sad things. And I don't know. Yeah, okay, you told me about that. He's fat. I forgot. I was like, what was that? But we've talked about sad things. I think if we're gonna move this day forward and make sure our week is great and start May off wonderful, we need a hero, right? Sometimes we need a new hero. And Bobby, you're an NYC. You're an NYC person.
Take it easy there, Bonnie Tyler. So take it easy there, Bonnie Tyler.
I'm not holding out for a hero, sir. Like, I'm not Enrique Iglesias, like just hero. Hundreds watched Cheeseball Man eat an entire tub of Cheeseballs in New York City. Do you know about this, Bobby?
I did see pictures of this, but I don't know any of the details. Please enlighten me, good fella.
By the way, thank you to our friend of the show always and contributor more than anyone, Dion, for late last night. He's the one that texted me whatever. He goes, dude, did you see this? Cheeseball Man. And then he sent me two articles. So he goes, it's confirmed. Making sure his sources weren't fucked up and he wasn't lying. Because he sent me articles like you have before. You go, oh, it's fake. And he's like, no, this is real. Why were there hundreds of people gathered in a New York City park this weekend shouting Cheeseball Man? I think everybody wants to be behind the mask. Cheeseball Man said. It started with some flyers, which have been hanging all over Manhattan a few months now. And everyone thought it was like a fake thing. And there was these flyers that looked like friend of the show, or friend of me at least. I don't know, Ski Mask from the Ski Mask podcast. But I was like, oh, he moved on. He's not being pink. And now he's got... So that guy got more coverage than Ski Mask did. Just wearing a mask once in a while. They hold a simple message from a masked man who wished to remain anonymous. Come see me eat this entire jar of cheese balls on April 27th. Which, by the way, dude, right there is genius. Like, because I would look at that and I know I would go, at first go, that's dumb. And then I would remember and I go, I wonder what I'm doing April 27th. Like, I literally would think about it. You know what I mean? I'd be like, what if I take an edible and go watch this, this could be a good time.
This will be a good afternoon. You're gonna meet some fun people at the cheese ball eating thing.
Yeah. And then maybe get some cheese balls. I didn't really expect this many people to show up, he said. Well, they did. The festivities kicked off with a speech, and many took videos for social media. One of them currently holds about 10 million views. Then Cheeseball Man hyped up the crowd by running around, holding a flag with his masked face on it. But of course, finally, the time came when the man going by Cheeseball Man would have to commit to consuming more than 2,000 calories of cheddar and cornmeal. There was a moment that I definitely was going to throw up. And then people said, keep it down, really loud. So I just did. I kept it in, he said. ABC News exchanged messages with people who were there, most of them saying that they thought they were behind it because they thought it would sounded hilarious. One added, even from 2 blocks away, you could hear the crowd. After almost a half hour, the now legendary Cheeseball Man finally accomplished his quest and then immediately signed autographs. I don't know if you need his autograph. I guess I would get his autograph. I was saying making fun of that, but I guess I would. He asked ABC not to disclose his name, but what we can tell you is that he is 22 years old. He just graduated from NYU and genuinely wants to be more than just a culinary conqueror. I clean up the city. I pick up trash. You know, when I see people they need to, you know, he said. What? But will he keep the mask? Oh, I have to do it in the mask, Cheeseball Man said. By the way, Cheeseball Man says he wants to do it again next year with even bigger tub. So April 27th, 2025, bring your bib. It's going to get really cheesy dusty. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Cheeseball Man? We're just trying to go, hey, world, I'm trying to bring you some joy. With all the dumb things in the world, especially in New York City, with all the Palestine this and Hamas that, and don't punch ladies this, and don't rob me that, and COVID this, and our mayor sucks that. It's nice finally to see something where a guy's like, hey, who wants to watch me eat cheese balls? When I was in college, that would have been a big event. If you were walking by some guy, we had a guy in our dorm that his name was Ben. And there was two Bens. There was one Ben who played Sega a lot, and another Ben who ate pudding a lot. And he loved pudding. Now the other Sega Ben, he also loved pudding. And one day he said, I like pudding a lot. Why is this guy pudding Ben and why am I Sega Ben? So we had a battle for the rights to be pudding Ben. And we went to our cafeteria, and they had those little, the little bowls of pudding that you could just take. And we took 2 trays each, and they each had to have 4 trays total, and put it in front of them, and they had 20 minutes to eat pudding. And the original pudding Ben lost to Sega Ben and got destroyed. And we had to flip their names. And the other guy's like, I don't even have a Sega. And it's like, it doesn't matter. You're now Sega Ben. That's who you both are. Your names have been changed from this point forward. People came and watched these guys eat pudding. Why? Because we ran around going, watch the battle for the real pudding Ben. And that's just like Cheeseball Man here. Sometimes people just want to root for a hero and be part of history. And I think that's amazing. So Cheeseball Man, kudos to you. Is he the piece of shit, though, for doing this thing? Is it ABC News and all the other news affiliates who are covering this? We always say, hey, why are we always covering dark stuff? People are like, the news is nothing but sad. But they cover something like this, and you're like, is this news? So it's kind of weird we go both ways with that. Is it 20,000 people or whatever that were gathered around proving that New York really might be the city that never sleeps, but it might be the city that never works? It's the fucking middle of the day. What the fuck are we doing watching Cheeseball Man have some cheese balls? Is it cheese balls? Because here's the thing. People don't really like cheese balls anymore. You like them when you're high, but no one ever says, oh, you want some cheese balls? You're like, oh, I have cheese balls. You know what I mean? It gets a little dusty and weird when you got to eat them. I remember one time when my kids were younger, we went to a grocery store, and there was these 2 weird-looking older guys that looked high as fuck. And my daughter was probably like 12 or 13, but she's the one who heard it first. She goes, did you just hear what those guys said? And I go, no. She goes, one guy just stared at it and goes, should we get cheese balls? And the other guy goes, there's no should. We get cheese balls. These just 2 grown men saying that. She goes, what does that mean? I explained to her what drugs were and things like that. She's like, oh, to this day when she sees cheese balls, she fucking quotes that quote all the time. So cheese balls can bring people together, but why isn't Planters? Why isn't whatever cheese ball brand, Chester Cheetah, anything like that behind this guy? Why doesn't he have a sponsorship? He should be eating someone's cheese balls. Who's the piece of shit in this story?
For me, the piece of shit in this story is probably original Pudding Bed. Like, if somebody wants to take the name Pudding Bed, you just give them the name Pudding Bed.
I don't know why you'd want. I'd rather be Sega Ben because he had a Sega
Yeah.
Genesis and no one else had one. That's a cooler name than a pudding. Pudding Ben sounds like you're putting it in my ass. You know what I mean?
Why would well yeah, why would you put up a fight about that? But also this was Sunday you said he did this massive eating thing?
Whatever April 27th was. Yes, Sunday.
So then for me the piece of shit would be that fitness influencer broad from yesterday who ran the marathon without signing up. Because if she truly wanted to be impressive, she should have run the marathon and then ran to this cheese ball eating thing and ate a ball of cheese balls before him. That would be truly impressive. She should have one upped him.
You know what? She wouldn't go because there was balls involved, and she's all like feminist and shit. So she hates. She'd have to eat cheese vagines.
Yeah. Cheese vaginas.
She's probably got cheese in her vagina, fucking dusty bitch.
So does Lane
that.
Maxwell after playing in Saudi Arabia.
That made me so sad. I was so pumped to go on this whole fucking thing.
I'm so sorry, dude.
No, not your fault.
Dude, put up Terry's comment. The Willard Preacher was the man.
I don't know what that is. Can you explain to us what the Willard Preacher is?
So the Willard Preacher, Willard's a building at Penn State that you pretty much have to walk through if you're coming onto campus at any point. And what the Willard Preacher was is a preacher who would stand outside of Willard Hall, sometimes with a megaphone. Eventually, the police told him he couldn't have a megaphone anymore because all he would do is wait for the Walk of Shame girls and just be like, "You're a whore. Premarital sex is a sin," and then would just rant at people. The Willard Preacher was the man. He was the original, like, Alex Stein. He would try to get people to engage him, and if you did, he would hope it would go viral. It was the best.
Oh, that's fun. And that's what Cheeseball Man's doing. He's just trying to go viral. I get it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
and he went
do
old
you remember the
school.
Philly thing?
No.
So there was a guy who was like, "Watch me eat an entire rotisserie chicken," and did the same thing in Philadelphia, and it made the news.
I
Yeah,
didn't know about that.
I think we may have
I
even
should
done it on
invite.
here.
I should have invite people to when I eat stuff because I eat whole things.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
I'm trying
that's all you
not
got to
to,
do, and then be like, "Surprise! It's a comedy show."
Yeah. Well, what I like about what Cheeseball Man did was he did something about getting viral and getting himself covered, but he also did it with an old school approach. So he hit both masses. He didn't say I have to just be on social media. I'm just going to TikTok this or Instagram this or Snapchat this. He had flyers, dude. He was doing groundwork. They were putting shit all over New York to let people know. So he was doing it old school and new school. This Cheeseball Man is a man of the people, but a man of the past too. And I think we need a man like that. So to me, it's anyone else who now wears a mask, like a ski mask, that thinks that they should be viral. I'm sorry, but my friend Ski Mask, take off your fucking mask. That lady who wears a pink mask who does porn, take off your mask. Anybody out there wearing masks, Cheeseball Man is now the mask master. No one else. People who rob banks, no thank you. It doesn't matter.
What about
Rocky Dennis from the movie Mask. Yeah, Rocky Dennis. Yeah, Slum God, gone. Sorry, you didn't do it. You're not Cheeseball Man.
I think you need to take a step back.
I don't care. Slumdog is not having 20,000 people show up watching him perform right now. He's not. He might get like 12,000, but he's not getting it.
No, just
I know, but I'm just saying.
Just quote.
I know.
I'm over here
my
in
son-
threes. Like my name's Lane Maxwell.
I guess you're hitting a 3 if that 3 is stopping my momentum of driving to the hoop. But anyway, it's like, but I'm kidding. But my son listens to Slumdog, so I didn't know the name of the song, sir. I was just going on a thing where I was naming other mass people. But all right.
Yeah, I figured you would. I didn't think the audience would. I didn't think Terry knew Ski Mask the Slump God. That's why
we can let him know afterwards. But Rocky Dennis from Mask, Jim Carrey from the movie Mask, all Mask people, Lone Ranger, anyone who's wearing masks, gone. Now it's him. So if you're wearing a mask, fuck off. You can't wear a mask. There's only one man. It's our new hero. It's Cheeseball Man.
Our hero.
So who's the piece of shit?
I don't think there is.
You said it.
Story.
Yeah, you just kind of instead went off that story, so we didn't really get one to you because we kind of went off on the person yelling at the thing. You said that woman, but I mean, it's not
the fitness woman, because she should have done that. Yeah,
I didn't know if that was a real answer or not.
Cheeseball Man, that's really quality. Eat something. That's what people want to see.
And you're right. If there's one quote you could have today, I eat whole things. I like that. I think Whole Foods should hire him and say, I eat whole things and I eat them at Whole Foods. And he should go around doing commercials. And he should have to go to each thing. Grapes, and he just eats all the grape and people cheer. He goes over to like the salad bar. And I would go to Whole Foods if I knew Cheeseball Man was their mascot.
Cheeseball Man should get in touch with our new sponsor, JJ Redick's Mango Smoothies.
Jesus Christ.
Do you like JJ
Yeah.
Redick's performance every time he's in Toronto? Then boy, do we have a product for you. Mango smoothie. Good.
I would like the idea of Cheeseball Man's career going bad and he has to resort to porn and he has to eat ass and now he's like, I eat whole things, but there's no W anymore. It's like, oh no.
What if we combine his talents and the Germans and they shoot cheese balls from their vagina and he eats as many as he can?
If you got the cheese eaten from his bottom, that would go viral. I don't think that would go viral. And also, never seen viral spelt that way. And I love you, Scott.
Is that viral?
It could go viral. He sings Varel. He sings that song happy. Come on, get happy. It's me, a Varel. I wear the big hat like a Paddington Man. It's a me. Come on, get happy. Eat the cheese from my butt. If your name is Scott Fitzpatrick, come on, get happy. Varel. Everybody wants smoothies. That smoothie story is not going away the entire episode.
Mm-mm.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
We should incorporate... Never mind. We should not incorporate smoothies into my game, because that would be an easy way to score points on your roommate.
We don't discuss the game in the morning, sir.
I'm sorry. I know.
That's 2 pedophilias, butthole eating. That's my line. Women's basketball, all.
Yeah,
those
mine
things.
was the second women's basketball story.
I'm putting this up just so when I take a screenshot later and put it in the promotion, this is here. Because it is a smoothie kind of day. Smoothie Wednesday should be the day where we either have to give a smoothie recipe, tell a smoothie story, or talk about somebody smooth, or about somebody drugging somebody. Maybe that should be it. A lot of shows have codes, Bobby. Maybe we, instead of saying roofies or drugged or anything, we should say, they smoothied them. You know what I mean? That should be our code so we don't get as much trouble.
Yeah, I 100%. Unfortunately, we don't do enough date rape stories, so we're gonna have to start researching more of those to use smoothie more.
Well, Bobby, I'm happy you brought that up because starting on Saturdays on Patreon only,
it's date rape double downs. They got busted once. They go back for more. Hear the stories here.
It's how their week ended weekend. It's like oh no. On the weekends we tell you how fucking their whole life ended because they were weak. It's our weekend. You got anything else today, or are we closing it off on that?
You want to talk about Paula quick?
Is it something you think you want to do on Friday and have time to explore it? Do you think maybe
good call.
We should have another Comic-Con and something like that too?
Yeah, good call. Yeah, good idea. We'll reach out to some of the parties involved.
Yeah, and if you can't get them, I will get another comic, but have another one's point of view on that thing. But I think that story is a lot of fun and we can have a good time with it, but I don't think it could follow smoothies and all the other terrible things that we've talked about today.
That's a good point.
So, all right. So, what you got? Anything else to plug or whatever? Hey, I want to thank everybody. Hey, Kevin, thank you for jumping in and chiming in, man. We don't usually see you in the chat, but dude, thanks for jumping in today. V is always great. Scott Fitzpatrick, great. Kish, the beginning going nuts. We had a lot of fun with all these people. Jim, of course. I think Dominic was he in there earlier? I'm not sure. But a lot of fun people today. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a lot. Let people know that you watch the show. Let's get this thing going. Let's get it moving a little better. Bobby and I have been having a lot of talks. The production value is going to get better. We're going to have better things. It's going to be looking better and smoother the farther we go, but we could use your help with that. That helps by joining the Patreon or making a donation on Venmo or PayPal or anything like that. But most importantly, that part's nice. We can give you the money, but if you head it over to the Patreon, that helps us. And that lets us know we can do more things with you guys in the Patreon. So as little as $3, we're doing some exclusive content over there. It supports the show. We'd like to grow our numbers, obviously. Thank you, Jim, for pressing the button. I appreciate you. But we, definitely get it over there at POS Podcast Patreon and join there today if you guys could. The ones who have so far, thank you. And I thank you for all diddling the button and fingering all the things. We appreciate that. And then we'll be here again Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Bobby?
Live life like Diana Taurasi, who said, "I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm not shy about anything, not even my big nose."
Oh no, that was her. Or was that Barbara Streisand?
No, it was Taurasi, believe it or not.